Welcome to Keep It Humane, the podcast, where we dive deep into topics surrounding kindness, compassion, and creating a more humane world, whether it's in our communities, in the workplace, or in the world of animal control and shelters. With our hosts,
Ashley Bishop.
And Ashley Bishop.
And I'm Daniel Ettinger. This show is sponsored by Tomahawk Live Trap. Check them out, livetrap.com. It is back. Wait, that's not how we say this. We are all back, the three of us. Ashley is not working at a car wash this weekend, and
No, but I might get cars washed.
Oh, do tell more. Do say, I don't know.
It's Tim's birthday, so if we wash his car, I can put his decals on that I made.
Oh, what do they say? I kind of want to know what they say.
Hold on.
Well, she does that. Texas Bishop, I know we were just talking offline and the craziness that's happening down in Texas right now, but how are you?
My other ride is a Phoenix.
Oh,
Chocobo.
Chocobo. Okay,
wait,
my bad.
Is
It looked
that
like a Phoenix.
is that Harry Potter stuff?
No, that is a different video game.
Oh,
Nice. Love it. Love it. I love that we're all a bunch of nerds. It's great.
All being who? You and me?
Okay, yes. I mean, Dan's a nerd in his own right.
yeah. Why am I not a nerd? Hold on. How am I getting left out of the game?
What was the last video game you played? Board game you played?
Does video game count on my phone?
No.
No.
Board game does. Cards with my kids count?
No.
Shit.
Listen, I'm not cool enough to play D&D. There's too many things happening in D&D. I can't. My ADHD is just. I can't.
Well, then, does riding a motorcycle count as being a nerd?
No.
Dang it!
I'll count it.
Thank you.
I don't get me wrong. I am all for motorcycles. Like I go to the motorcycle rally up here all the time.
Well, if you don't hear from me after this recording, it's because I died on my travel to the Rock Store, which I guess is some famous place north of Los Angeles. That's going to be like an hour and a half ride. So,
Like,
don't put that juju out in the world. What's wrong with you?
I mean, I've done enough that it's okay if I die, and I don't mean that in a suicidal sense. I'm just like, if it happens,
well, this took a turn.
if it happens, it happens. Death is as natural as life. I just don't want to suffer too much, so hopefully it's like quick. I just severed spine or something. Okay, on other news, Tomahawk Live Trap, they're celebrating their 100th year in business. They're a family owned and operated business who work with humane professionals around the world to produce the safest and most effective animal handling equipment available. You can save 10% on their products by using discount code Keep It Humane. That's right, Keep It Humane in all caps, no spacing. You can visit them online at livetrap.com or call them at 800-272-8727. We're going to have a fun one today because we always talk about access to care, spay and neuter services, and people should be doing more. Well, a friend of the show and a friend of just a friend and a friend of the show, you could be both. Dr. G, let's see if we get her full name right. Is it Alba before Michelle?
Yes.
Alba Michelle Gonzalez out of Ohio. I have to say it like that, Ohio. But
How else would you say it?
You could be all enthused about it, like Ohio, but no one's ever enthused about Ohio. But you're doing some great work there. And for those that don't know, Dr. G is the founder and host of the Animal Welfare Junction, which you can find anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And she has some really great things going on that podcast. Some really cool, kind of like, I would say like true crime case debriefs that you've gone and dove into. And we can get into that in a little bit, but I just really want this episode to be kind of focused on access to care because I think that's how we get to a better place for animals, not just in the country, but in the world. So, Dr. G, thank you for taking the time to return to our podcast. And honestly, and I say this, and I'm not joking, like you're probably one of the busiest persons that I know, even though you recently graduated for your 17th time. I swear you're the busiest person I know.
Well, thanks for having me.
How to say, Dr.
Yeah.
G, first, you're such an inspiration. And I was telling Dan and Ashley during the expo, I was going to try to come and find you, but I ended up coming down with bronchitis. So I wasn't able to find you. But
She's used to that because now we're 0 for 2 at conferences because I didn't find her.
Yeah, yeah. Long story short, somebody ghosted me at the first conference that we were there.
Oh,
Yeah, he literally like I texted him and I knew that he got it because it said red and he didn't
oh,
answer.
you left Dr. G on red. What is wrong with
Wait, I
you?
don't have read receipts on. Do I really have read
It was
receipts
on
on?
LinkedIn.
Oh shit.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
oh,
LinkedIn's a snitch, man.
Dang it.
Yeah. Yeah, he totally ghosted me thinking that I was like some groupie or something.
oh.
What had
So,
happened
yeah.
was it was the premiere of the animal control TV show on Fox, and I had to go to this party. Look, she's like, absolutely not. No, I don't know what happened. I suck at managing time sometimes, but that doesn't mean we won't meet soon.
Just you're an inspiration, Dr.
Allegedly.
G. Yeah, no, you're
Thank
you're
you.
absolute inspiration, and it's so good to see a Latina too doing everything that you're doing. So kudos to you. Hopefully I get to meet you in person, but I'm excited to talk with you today. Really excited.
Yeah, that'd be great. And it's great to be around fellow nerds. Like I play Uncharted as my thing.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
What?
yeah.
Wait, what is
Yeah.
that?
What?
Is
There's even
Uncharted?
a movie about it.
Okay. How
Yeah,
do you
look
have
it up.
time? How do you have time between everything else that you're doing to play a
I
video?
make time.
Work-life balance. It's big stuff.
Yeah. Mhm.
Can you, Dr. G, can you just kind of let people know, like if, all right, I'll make it somewhat easy. Like,
Will you though?
no, well, it's fair. Just go to rascalunit.com. I mean, that's the easiest thing for people to do, rascalunit.com. But like, just, I know you've been on the show before and we've had you kind of talk about you, but I think it's an important thing. Like, how about just like the recent couple years, like you did finish up another degree. Um, like where are you at in life in that aspect professionally? Um, what have you been working on and what's kind of coming down the pike, as they say?
Wow, that's a lot. I mean, I guess the best way to say is the beginning of things was, I was a veterinarian and I was interested in criminology and that wasn't a thing back when I graduated back in 99. But I was always very interested in that. And then through work, I started doing a lot of stuff with rescues and shelters. And I understood the need for access to care because here in Columbus, we have quite a few veterinarians, but in Southern Ohio, there's nothing. And to me, that was like a wild idea that there's nothing. I didn't understand what that even meant. So I'm a problem solver, and I figure I'm just going to get a truck and go down there and take care of the problem so that the Columbus shelters don't have all this overload. And this is going to be a cool little part-time weekend gig. And then, 19 years later, we have three trucks and a whole staff, and we're traveling all over the state. And I mean, quickly realized the importance of affordable and accessible care, not just for the well-being of the animals, but also the well-being of people and for the prevention of unintentional cruelty and neglect. Because we found that a lot of animals that are neglected is because people either don't know or have no access. So, as far as like what you guys do with trying to go after people that neglect their animals, through the work that we do, we help decrease your load so that you can concentrate on those people who are committing intentional neglect and cruelty. Um, so I am a eternal learner. I love to learn. I don't necessarily like to take quizzes and tests, but that's all right. you know. So yeah, so once the forensic medicine, the veterinary forensic masters came up, I did that, graduated from that in 17, and everything brings more questions. So it's like, okay, well now I know how to process animal cruelty stuff, but why are people doing this? So then I went back and did a forensic psychology so that I could understand the background of why people are doing the things that they're doing, and then also how to treat people who like hoarders, for instance, that they don't get treated by putting them in jail or giving them fines. You have to actually treat them. And I got done with that. And I love watching crime shows. So then I was like, wait a minute, I didn't learn about any of these techniques when I was in doing my veterinary forensics. So then I went back and did a master's in forensic science.
Nice.
And then I was like, okay, done, no more. I'm tired. And Lewis and Clark is like, hey, we have a master's of studies in law for animal law. So for non-attorneys, I was like, okay, well, now I have to do that. And I was really grateful because realistically, it's a really expensive program, and I couldn't afford it, and I got a full ride.
Nice.
So that was really amazing, and very humbling that somebody out there had believed that I would have something to give to the animal and the human you know welfare stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm still full time doing the spay neuter thing, affordable and accessible care, and then on the side I'm doing forensics and helping educate people, especially veterinary students, trying to get them passionate about shelter care and community practice and that kind of stuff. And yeah, and then play some ice hockey on the side so that I can release all my frustration.
Dr. G, like you, and with all due respect to other veterinarians, if they're listening, like I I don't know somebody as accomplished as you are in this world of animal welfare. So where is that taking you? Like what is your do you have a 5-year goal? Like what do you see yourself doing in addition to the Rascal Unit, which we're going to jump into here in a bit?
I am I am a person that is very open to anything. So I guess I don't really have a long-term plan that I have to finish. Is I see a problem and then I deal with it. One of the things that I would love to do is to train more people to do what I'm doing with the Rascal Unit so that they can take over that kind of work because there's not a lot of veterinarians in forensics. So I see more of a need for my knowledge and education and experience in that. So I do want to put more effort into the forensic stuff. And then just education in general, just teaching the next generation of whatever,
So
whether it be veterinarians.
Professor
Yeah,
Dr. G?
yeah, kind of, but just G.
Professor G.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that.
Actually, I love that too. I would take your class even though I'm not qualified for it.
Hey.
you can come.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I may not show up.
So when are you gonna have like an internship that I can come down and do with you?
Same.
I mean, we love having people over, especially anybody that wants to learn because that's how we improve. And even I learn from others, right? Like meeting other people that do things differently. Even if I don't agree, there's always something that I learn from it. Even if it's that I don't agree with it, like how
Mhm.
not to do something. But I find that I pick up things from every opportunity that I have to learn.
Let's jump
So
into
what
the
have you
oh, hi. I wanted to jump into the actual like
I'm
rascal
getting there.
no, the rascal unit.
I'm getting
Are
there.
you because you're not even on the show half the time.
Do you want to shut up and just listen?
Dude.
This is what we do on live radio.
Stop showing up right now.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I was gonna say, what have you learned by starting the Rascal Unit?
Good segue.
The the biggest the biggest thing that I learned is about veterinary deserts, right? I did
Mm,
not understand what that is. And for people that don't know what that means, a desert is just a place that lacks resources. So it's not just veterinary deserts. You can have food deserts, you can have human health deserts. It's just that inability of people to get things that they need. So I learned that very quickly. Then another really interesting thing is a few years ago, uh, somebody up in Cleveland, Dan Spihar, he does a lot of research, and he did research on the veterinary deserts for cats, especially community cats, because that's his passion. And he made this map of Ohio. And he said, okay, these are the veterinary deserts. And then he compared it to income levels. And he said, these are all the low income areas. And it kind of fits with deserts. And I'm looking at that map and I'm saying, I've seen that map. So I go back to the colored map of the counties that we visit. And it was almost identical to the low income map.
Mm.
And I did not do that on purpose, right? What I did was I said, here's my service, here's what I have to offer, who needs it, and then started going to the places that needed it. And I learned very quickly how, again, people want to help their pets, they want to take care of their pets, and they will do what they can to get that service to them.
And there's a cool map people can go to online. It's access to care vet. Wait, nope, let's try that again. It's access to vetcare.org, access to vetcare.org. And it'll show that kind of that veterinary desert that you're talking about in your state. Um, and I think with Ohio, the reason it's so green is because the 3 Rascal units are just flying around the state, um, helping people in those communities. How does that work? So, like, how do you identify where you're going? How do you schedule it? How do you let people know you're going to be in the community? Like, I want to know all that.
Yeah, so it's all about partnership, right? So we don't do this on our own. We partner with local humane organizations. I love to talk about cultural competence, and that is understanding what people need. It's not about me getting a truck and saying, I'm your savior and I'm coming here to take care of your problem, even though it's not my problem and I don't understand where you're coming from. The local humane organizations understand what their community needs. So that may be feral cats, that may be dogs, that may be the shelter animals, that may be just the community animals. So the patients that we see are basically selected by the hosting group. So we create these partnerships with those groups, and it helps us in a couple of ways. First, the cultural competence bit, but then also they're doing a lot of the admin stuff because they are taking care of the clients, getting doing all the signups, collecting funds, doing all of that stuff. So it helps us keep our funds down because we don't have to do all of that admin stuff. Um, and then so I say, we look for groups that are going to be responsible, that are willing to take on everything that hosting a clinic, um, entails, and we do our schedule. How do I say? So this October, I will do basically the entire schedule for the whole next year, for the whole 2026.
Okay.
What we do is we reach out to hosting groups that are interested in bringing us to their counties and then ask them certain questions like how many times do you need us to come there, what kind of animals are you going to be doing, that kind of stuff, and then we create our calendar based on the requests that we receive. And then as far as advertising on our website, we have a list of where we travel and what the hosting group is so that people can reach out to them. But the hosting groups really, I mean, they're amazing at letting the community know. And we are this sounds like egotistical, but we are really well known in Ohio. So when people hear that the Rascal Unit is coming, they're like, yeah, I need to get my dog fixed. I need to get my cat fixed. So the clinics fill up so quickly. It's like
I hear you're
it's
more.
great and it's sad.
I heard you're actually more popular than the Cleveland Browns, so that's that's great.
I probably have more followers.
I would think so. I would think so.
And I don't
Why?
have a lot of followers.
Why? Why Rascal Unit 234 and not 123?
Rascal Unit 1 is 19 years old and over 400,000 miles.
Wow.
Choo!
Yeah, and we had a mishap with a mechanic that did us really bad and damaged the gas tank. So we couldn't drive it anymore. So we actually recently sold it to the Ohio Wildlife Center
Hmm.
because they were in need of a clinic and they were thinking about getting a trailer and transforming it into a clinic. I say, hey, hold on, I got what you need. So we worked out a deal, and now Rascal One is parked, and going to be helping some Ohio wildlife rehabilitate.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Nice.
So, Dr. G, how do you one inspire those around you? Because I do a lot of interviews. There is a large veterinary school down the road from me, literally, and for the first time actually last week, one of the interviews I did said that she was interested in going into shelter medicine. I was about aghast because I was like, that's just unheard of. How do we get people interested in this? And like you said, these deserts that we have, Texas is a big one too. West Texas doesn't have a lot of veterinarians, and we have a lot of agriculture that goes on out there. How do we get people interested in kind of going into this field? And beyond that, how do we make them understand, that at the end of the day, it's about the human animal bond and animal welfare together?
It's by showing people, right? Like you got to show up, you got to do it, you got to let them know how good it feels to do something that is what really brought you into veterinary medicine. And then you have to let them know that they can make a living doing so. Because the mentality is that you have to go into corporate medicine if you want to make a living, that being a shelter veterinarian or a spay neuter vet, you can't. Well, there are plenty of shelter and spay neuter veterinarians making well over $100,000 a year. So it is competitive. It can happen. But when you go to the vet schools, you don't have shelters and clinics going in and preaching to the students, hey, come to us. This is what we're going to do. This is how great it is. But you have corporations coming in at first year, buying them food, buying them dinner, flying them places, and saying, like, hey, this is going to be the great life that you're going to have. That's all they're hearing. So what I'm doing is I have a mentorship program, and students can come in starting at first year. From first year all the way to the seniors usually come as senior externships. But from first, second, and third years, they come in and they do hands-on. Like I am very hands-on. They learn to do everything in steps so that it's, how you say, they're learning, they're benefiting, but then it's also safe for the patients that we're seeing because that's our priority. So we get these students that come and they travel with us on the truck. They go to the different shelters. They see all the different types of shelters and rescues that there are. And then they work with the community and they see people that come to them and say, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping. And you can't get that in general practice. Unfortunately, in general practice, people go because they have to most of the time. They don't want to, they have to. For us, they come to us because they need it and they want to come here. So it's, that shift. And we talk about compassion fatigue and how people suffer from telling people no and from having to euthanize animals because of cost and that kind of stuff. And we have very little of that. Um, just last week, or 2 weeks ago, we took care of a man's cat that had this horrible abscess on its face. And the cat is old, and my technician that's been with me for 18 years. She looks at this cat and she's like, goes out and talks to the owner. And she said, he feels really bad because he wants to do it, but he doesn't have the funds. And he looks embarrassed about it. And I said, tell him that we'll go ahead and take care of it and we'll work with him and we'll see what's going on. She went outside, she talked to him, and she came back and she said, thank you, that helped my mental health.
Mm.
And that is, I'm helping the community, but I'm keeping my staff mentally healthy. Um, so so yeah, I mean, the mentorship students see this. And I just had four that were with me for 6 weeks straight. It was the first time trying an actual program. Had four first year students that had no experience in pretty much anything. And by the end of 6 weeks, they're doing dog space, they're doing cat space, they're doing vaccines, they understand about treatment and stuff. One is going to work at a local shelter. The other one is going to work with me during the summer, but got offered also an opportunity at another shelter. And they're going to go forward with that. So, it gets them motivated, it gets them inspired. But you have to be that inspiration, right? Like you have to, it's action. It's not just words. You have to show them this is what I'm doing. I am working really hard, but this is what happens when you work really hard. You're happy at the end of the day.
How I'm looking because on the website you actually have your fees listed, which
Mhm.
is practically unheard of for a vet clinic being able to actually, outright because everybody's like, oh, here's your range. how are you able to offer things at such a low cost? Are you working with any of the like medical facilities to get lower cost things because of the work you're doing, or how are you
She's
able to
not
do
greedy, bro. That's what it is.
that?
She's here for the purpose and not the cash. She's not here for the
Well,
purse. She's here for the purpose.
I know, but I will tell you this. I mean, I live in a nice house. I have the car that I want. My son is going to college. He's driving the car. Like, I have what I need and most of what I want. But I'm not, I'm not ripping people off in the process. And I'm not saying that to say that veterinarians are ripping people off. It's just how
Mhm.
I feel.
Can I
I
say it?
feel that
Can I say it?
if you can say whatever you want to say, like,
Don't
He
give me
usually
that
does anyways,
permission.
Dr. G.
yeah, I know. But no, it's, they're I do not expect general practices to charge what we charge because it's, again, it's going to sound egotistical. I can do things that other people cannot do. We can do 30 to 50 surgeries a day. Most general practice cannot do that. So, if you think about it, at the end of the day, we're probably making the same amount of money as a general practice, but we're doing like 50 patients and they're doing 8.
Right. You get
So
it
they
from
have to
volume.
charge,
Yeah.
right, exactly. They have to charge more. So that's where I'm saying that I'm not saying that veterinarians are necessarily, trying to rip people off or anything like that. They have to charge more. Some people are charging way more than they should. I do have a problem with that. Because I don't care what your excuse is. You don't need to be making 300 grand a year on the back of people that give you their entire life savings to take care of their cat's urinary tract infection.
We
Um,
had a guest several episodes ago, and I don't know if either of you two remember. Very nice, but you could tell it was a what they were doing was for profit, even though they touted themselves as like a group that was helping the community. But it was more of like, how can I build this practice to sell it and be more of an administrator over the practice, not how can I help the community. And that was it left a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm only calling them out on this episode more so as just like an acknowledgement that yes, that does happen in this industry. Whether it's some of these corporate groups that come in and buy some of these small vet clinics and then make them corporate, and we need this access to care. Like this is how we get to, you know, a community where we don't have a group of strays running around, or we don't have an overpopulation, or we don't have people thinking that they're the only ones that can care for the animal in that way. You know, they have 120 cats in their house.
yeah, no, and I will tell you, I mean, we are for profit. We are not a nonprofit. We are a for-profit facility. The main reason I do that is because I want the ability to do what I want. I don't want to be under nonprofit guidelines. I don't want a board telling me what to do. I want to be able to do what I feel is best and then change things as I see it. So yeah, the way that we figure out our costs is what do we need to pay our bills? What do we need to have our staff, which we pay our staff a very good competitive wage, right? A lot of the things that are happening to small businesses with insurance and a lot of benefits, we have had to cut a lot of that out, which is really unfortunate because they deserve it. But it's, those are the problems that we get into. But we figure out what we need and then we base our charges on that. And if we start finding that, we're falling behind and we need something, then we make adjustments. So we do get a lot of incentives from distributors because we buy such high volume, right? Like most veterinary clinics will buy, I don't know, excuse me, like 3 packs of surgery every couple of weeks. We buy about 12 packs of surgery once a week, at least, right? So with volume comes discounts. And we get discounts on everything because I mean, again, like vaccines, we go probably through about, I don't know, 400 rabies vaccines a week.
Wow.
Holy cow.
So it's, yeah, so it's again, it's just volume. You buy a lot, you get it incentives back. And then instead of us keeping that extra money, we just build it so that we can pass that on to the people that we're helping.
My heart just feels so good, y'all.
It's You really are an inspiration. And I look around the country and I have some friends that are veterinarians that do similar work, but not the same, if that makes sense. Like their focus is the community, whether they're going to some of these Native American reservations and posting up there and doing a bunch of spay and neuters on site, whether they're the head of a clinic where they're offering very low cost or no cost, like subsidized, government subsidized spay and neuters. That work is being done. I think like I don't know, maybe this is like something future wise, but like I just feel like you need to be head of something to like make sure.
All the things, not just
Yeah.
something, all the things.
Well, yeah, like the head of, but like what I meant is like the head of like a group or an organization. And I know we have the United Spay Alliance, and I'm pretty sure you're still representing on that, but like just like a just like there is this focus on like animal shelters and how we, do our best there, whether it's, policy, best practices, etc., current trends, all that stuff. Like, I just wish people, like, do you know of anyone that's doing something similar in the country where they have 3 trucks and they go around their community and just provide this care? Are you an anomaly in the aspects of like you're the only one, or is there like some other organizations that do a similar project in their community?
I think that there are some groups out there doing similar things within what they can. There's a group here in Ohio that just recently got a truck for their community, and I believe they're offering free spay and neuter, which is fantastic. The one issue with it is, I mean, it's only available for their community, which I understand. They're focusing on that, but they also have, like they're not doing large animals, like large dogs. And that's because a lot of veterinarians are refusing to do big dogs. And guess what's in the shelters? Big dogs, pit bulls that have 10, 12 puppies every time. So we complain about the pit bull explosion, but we don't do anything about it. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm trying to teach the students. And I said try. So in my practice, there is no try, right? So like try is a bad word, is the worst word. But that's one of the things that I want to impart on the students. I want to show them not to be afraid of the big dog. And what is amazing about students is that they will do anything you ask them to, right? Like they're excited for anything. So they don't understand the fear of doing a big dog. So you just little by little get them to that point and then put a big dog in front of them and then they just do it
Hmm.
because they don't know to be scared of it. So, I have these first year students doing 80-pound pitties. And yeah, it takes them a while. It takes them about 40 minutes. You know what? There's a lot of veterinarians that take 2 hours to do something like that. So if I can get these students to get this, everybody can do it. Um, so so yeah, there are people going around doing similar things, doing like MASH clinics, taking materials to a gymnasium or something like that and doing high volume for the communities. And those are all things that are needed. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm an Aquarius, so I think that I am unique and mysterious and all that crap, right? But but no, I think that there are a lot of people doing it. Um, I mean, I do what I can.
All right. I have a question that is, hmm, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Just go
All
in there.
right, bring it.
So I know you can handle it though. You're talking about doing 30 to 50 surgeries a day. How do you equate the quality of care for doing that number versus the small number of surgeries that a private clinic is doing?
Absolutely. I would love to answer that question because the quality of the space and neuters that we do is a lot higher than the people that take an hour to 2 hours to get them done. The patient that has a small incision that's only under anesthesia for 3 to 8 minutes, that is a less risk than a patient that is under anesthesia for an hour, 2 hours. My patients, their temperature doesn't drop. We don't have issues with hypothermia. Again, the incision is smaller. There's not a lot of discomfort. Um, Everything is just made in such a efficient way, right? So we're not rushing through surgeries. We're doing things efficiently. We are confident. We know what we're doing. It takes one cut to get into the abdominal cavity, right? We're not like thinking around to do that. And those are the things that we're teaching, the students that come to us. So yeah, as far as the quality of the procedure, um, very little blood loss. It's just very high quality. Now we do explain to people we don't have a lot of the toys that general practices do. We do have a pulse oximeter, we have an ECG that we can use if needed. Um, so we take care of monitoring our patients, but we don't have a lot of the toys that other places have. We don't have a ton of blood work that we can do. We can do chemistries in the truck. So it is as high quality as you can get in that environment. And we understand that we don't have everything that a general practice does, but the quality of the procedures that we do and the care from our technicians and our doctors, I mean, I will put him against anyone any day.
Awesome.
Is there, I mean, it is that a topic of conversation outside of it just being like you're stealing, like I've always had this issue with veterinarians and communities that have a mom and pop shop. Like if you're a shelter and you're going to offer low cost vaccines or even low cost spay neuter, they're like, you're stealing our clients. And it's like those people were never coming to your office ever in their life. Like they wouldn't even drop off a newspaper at your office. So outside of that mindset of like you're stealing our clients, like could a veterinarian actually say that the process of how you spay and neuter is actually different? Like I just don't understand the medical piece of it. Like what is actually different in a high volume spay and neuter service versus somebody in a box office?
I think that experience and repetition has a lot to do with it. And then again, just knowing the techniques and working on them. If you do something once a week, you're never going to get better at it.
Hmm.
When you do something 8 times in a day,
Sure.
you improve significantly. And that's what we see with the people that we train. They may take an hour for their first cat spay. The second one is 40 minutes, then 30 minutes, and then they go down to about 15, 20 minutes. From there, it takes a while for them to get faster. But we
Yeah,
see a
I'm about
significant
9 minutes on my cat space.
yeah, I'm sure you are. Um, we're about, so we see a significant incremental improvement in the amount of time that it takes to do the surgery. So as far as other veterinarians, like when I started, we had all the veterinarians saying like, you're stealing my clients and that kind of stuff. Little by little, they realized two things. First, we're not stealing your client. That person was probably not going to go and get a spay or neuter at your practice. But second, we educated that client on the importance of veterinary care, and we're not there all the time. So guess what? You just gained a client. You just
Mhm.
gained a person that is now invested in the health of their pet, whether it be it needs boosters the next year, or we found an ear infection and we treated it, but it needs to be rechecked, or whatever the case may be. It's actually going to bring more people to your door.
Mm.
And if you're telling your client, oh, they do everything wrong, don't trust them, they're cutting corners, they're horrible, and then the person still comes to us and see the quality of the service and the empathy that our staff has towards them, they're going to hate that vet that try to keep them from getting this service. They're going to say, you're all about the money because you didn't want me to take care of my pet. You want to do it yourself so that you can get the money. So we ask clients who referred you to our clinic, and sometimes it will say my veterinarian, right? So their vet understands the importance of what we are doing and the importance of what they are doing. If they're not going to be efficient at doing, a ton of surgeries in a day, send the surgeries to somebody else so that you can concentrate on all the things that are actually, bring you money and that you're good at and that you need to do. So it's been a huge culture shift within the veterinary profession to where I don't feel that animosity that we had at the very beginning. And we even have veterinarians saying, "Can I come to your practice and learn how to do high quality sterilization?" Right? So it's, they're seeing the importance of, for both their money in their pocket, but also for the safety of the patient.
Lee, did you want to bring up what you just threw in the chat?
Oh, sure. We talked about it, I don't know, I think the last episode I was on.
Which was like 3 months ago.
Shut up. Um, the Humane Society, what is it? It's under the World Humane now, or
Oh,
Humane World for
Humane
Animals.
World for Animals. Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
You're welcome.
HSUS.
Yes.
The artist
Yeah,
formerly known as
exactly.
HSUS.
Yes. So, but under the Humane Veterinary Medical Alliance is some training, and they have some continuing education webinars, and you can, I believe it's actually free to join them, or at least it used to be free. Um, and they actually have some specific webinars that are dedicated to the fact that, you're not taking um, the one specifically, cost of care, impact on animal welfare and veterinary well-being, talks about the fact that you are not taking away from, you know, the mom and pop practices because, like you said, they're not coming in at all. And some people still have that stigma. I'll be honest, like, and maybe also I'll venture to say that I may not have initially been wrong in my thinking in when the low cost spay and neuter clinics popped up. I felt like they were, not as high quality, but everybody was learning. They were figuring out how to do this low cost and still give the adequate quality of care. Um, my thinking on that has obviously changed. Um, Because like you said, when you do things, if you do things enough times, you're going to get better. You're going to figure out what works better for you, what works better for the animals. You can do it quicker. Perfect practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah, you definitely didn't do that 10,000 times.
No, no, I did not.
I'm so glad you're back. Uh,
Why? Because Ashley doesn't harass you like I do?
correct.
She's too nice.
Yeah,
That's
the
nice.
the the Humane Veterinary Medical Association does amazing things. And actually, if you go to the Ohio and you go under the Ohio reps, I'm their Ohio representative. So, um,
Nice.
and that's, it was really important for me to join this organization because they're helping so much. They're helping with education and they're helping with policy. They're helping with a lot of the things that I'm interested in. They actually have had me go to different vet schools to give lectures on forensics and on shelter med, to places that do not have those things. Like I went to Lincoln Memorial last year and I drove there just to talk to whoever, whatever students were interested in forensics because they don't have forensics there. So they are a really great resource. And as far as the second point that you brought up, as far as the, high volume or low cost being poor quality, I absolutely 100% agree. When I first came into the field of veterinary medicine, I saw a lot of things that were being done really wrong. And the excuse was, well, we don't have the money, we don't have the
Mhm.
funds, we're doing the best we can with what we have. And I understand that, but we have to evolve from that, and we have. One of the benefits that I had is after I graduated from vet school, I did an internship at the University of Missouri in surgery medicine and critical care. And I worked for 6 years at a private practice. And it was, doing high quality care. So when I started the Rascal Unit, it was really important to do that high quality with the high volume. And high quality, high volume spay neuter was not something that was heard of 19 years ago.
Mhm.
So, I had to I learned on my own a lot of stuff because there was not a lot of resources for me, but I still knew how to do things right, and I wanted to do things right. So, I am really excited with what's happening with high volume sterilization because most places that I see are doing things right. They're
Mhm.
using, proper equipment, proper instruments, monitoring, registered technicians. I mean, it's it's amazing the evolution that has happened.
What the $1 million question I have is what can we do to duplicate this throughout the country?
I mean, it just takes somebody that cares, somebody that is willing to work really, really, really hard because it is hard work. Um, and somebody that wants to educate and inspires others because we have to keep paying it forward. So the way to do it is just to teach people that it can be done and how to get it done.
So if I came to you and did an internship for like 6 weeks and learned how to do it, like granted, I wouldn't be a veterinarian and I would do this illegally, but like
Not in
that's
my place.
Please, please, please do not say you would do it illegally, Dan.
no, I'm just
That's recorded.
oh yeah, but actually the whole point. The reality is like if you go through school and you get your degree and you're like, I don't really want to be in a box office, working all, Monday through Friday to or whatever the hours are. Like I like this freedom where I can, set up a mobile unit and cruise about either my city, my state, wherever I'm going to be, however, even if it's nationally, like it can be done. And I think like I joke about it, like, oh yeah, I could just learn like how to spay and neuter real quick and then put it in a truck. Like you'd be surprised. People are doing some crazy things out there. But the reality is like the startup might scare people because you have to buy that vehicle, right? You have to get that. However, we say that, and I don't know if you've ever gone down the Grant road, but you are Dr. G, so Dr. Grant maybe, I don't know. Um, but like then there are startup grants for people that are doing things like this when it's promoting access to care, whether it's through the ASPCA, Maddie's Fund, what are they, HFWA. Like there are grants. I did that right. I saw you down there thinking. You're still thinking HWFA.
I was gonna say what?
Dang it, just HSUS. We love y'all. So it can be done. Like there are startups, and it may seem daunting, but like once you learn, like for me, if I was to come internship, it would be to actually meet you. You'd probably be on vacation in Puerto Rico for like a month. So it'd be the rest of your team be like, but it would be to learn the daily operations because I think you need not only the veterinary piece, but then you need someone to manage it. And as you look at, you have a pretty large staff. If you look at the staff listed on your website, that's a lot of people.
It is, and it's a lot of people. However, that's about as much people. Actually, it's less than what we used to have when we had a hospital,
Oh wow.
and we're doing about 13,000 surgeries a year.
Well, shout out to
That,
Michelle because she handles all that stuff.
yeah, Michelle and Nikki. Whoosh, Nikki.
They
Whoo.
balling. Nikki, what up, girl?
Yeah, yeah. Poor Nikki. I'm telling you what. I'm like, hey, I have an idea, and she's like, yes, and inside she's like, like, ugh. But
Hey, Nikki,
I,
if you're watching on YouTube, I know you're a Browns fan probably or a Bungles fan. So just that's
you
all
know
for
what?
you.
I actually don't know what if she even cares about football. That's a good question. But anyway, no, it's staff. All my staff understands the mission and they believe in the mission, right? It's not a job. It's a passion that pays them a good living wage. So that's what matters is again, you have to have people that care, but people that are willing to put in the work. We got so many people that say, I want to be in Rascal. I want to be part of Rascal. I love what you guys do. And they come for a day and they're like, this is not for me, right? And that's okay. Like it's not for everybody. There's something out there for everybody to be able to help in their own way.
Hmm.
So for those that are really hard worker and passionate, I mean, I love traveling. I love going to different places, meeting all these people. Yeah, I look outside my window when I'm doing surgeries because there's a window right there, and I have a different perspective every time. Uh, So yeah, it's super rewarding. As hard work as it is super rewarding, and people can do it. You just gotta have that mentality of I can get it done, and if something doesn't go the way you want, not giving up, just learning from that mistake and then figuring it out and reaching out to other people that do it and learning from them.
Do I get one of them Rascal Unit t-shirts if I volunteer for a day?
Yes, you may.
Yes. I might try to seriously next year when right before HWFA in Pittsburgh, my hometown, shout out. Maybe I can swing through Dublin, Ohio, and volunteer for a day.
Yeah, yeah, and it's one of the funny things as far as the shirts is that people like our shirts because they like our logo and stuff, and people like we'll go to events and we'll sell shirts and stuff, and we when we pull into some of the clinics, there are people wearing our stuff, right?
Nice.
Like we have groupies, and it's so cool because it you can say it's marketing and it's good marketing, but realistically, like we're marketing health and we're marketing access to care and the human animal bond and all of those things. So people see Rascal and they think about the benefit that it brings to the animals and the community.
That's awesome.
How did you come up with the name Rascal?
So originally it meant roaming animal sterilization clinic at low cost.
That's dope,
Okay.
actually.
So it
Okay.
meant something. And yeah, and we had it, our truck one had that whole thing on it. And then people started thinking roaming animals. Oh, so you only do ferals and strays.
Mm,
And it's like, no, we roam. We're roaming.
right,
And
right.
and they didn't get it. But after a while, like right now, you can ask people, does rascal mean anything? And they're like, no, it's just rascal. Right. So we dropped that whole thing because it wasn't necessary. But that's kind of where it came from. And
Okay.
it became pretty catchy and easy for people to remember.
Yeah, because you had to catchy all those roaming animals.
That's
Um,
right. Haha. But no, and I mean, we get called the little rascals, all sorts of stuff. And it's like,
That's what
no,
I was thinking.
yeah, just rascal. Yeah.
It's
So,
actually
but
pretty brilliant.
yeah, yeah.
How how do we get your message across to some of the major universities, Dr. G? Because I feel like here in the last 2 decades, I started in this industry in 2009. I worked the shelter at the time had a high volume spay neuter clinic. I got to experience all of that. It was crazy doing like 30, 35 surgeries a day. But it was an amazing experience that I had. But how do we get all of these, veterinary schools to, really participate in their communities and things like that? I feel like it's a huge piece that's missing, and I can, speak to that somewhat in our town here. You have the University of Florida who's doing their wonderful shelter medicine program. You have University of Wisconsin, correct?
hmm
Yeah, that is also doing things, and a few others. How do we get everybody to jump on board? How do we get them to see what this could do for the industry as a whole?
That one is hard. And I think that it's getting the students involved and then having the students demand the schools to do something about it. Yeah, shout out to Dr. Levy in Florida because she's doing a fantastic job. I love watching or reading about all of the updates from all the TNR clinics that they're doing and all of the things that they're doing for the community. Again, they're teaching the students great skills and they're helping the community in the process. So yeah, Ohio State is kind of working on things like they have a spectrum of care clinic to try to do some lower cost stuff for people and give an option. But but yeah, I mean, we just need more of that. And I think that students demanding the education may be the way to get it done because otherwise I honestly have no idea how to get through. Um, I love teaching students and would I want to be in an institution? I'm not sure because I don't follow rules very well. So with what I do, I can do what I want, and that sounds bad, but I can do what I want because I know what I perceive as what's needed, and I listen to the students and I help them grow. Um, I don't know that actual colleges would allow me the freedom to do the things that I do the way that I do them.
Yet. I think it's
Yeah.
coming. I do think that we talk about it all the time on the show about just access to care being our number one practical way out of this overpopulation that we have. I mean, it just makes sense. Having more care on the front end creates a safer and healthier space on the back end for all the animals that are in our clinics or shelters, I should say. And so you're definitely an inspiration, not only from the aspect of providing access to care, but your why and your just commitment to our profession. I think we hit it off pretty early on, though I ghosted you in unintentionally. We definitely we definitely hit it off, and it's surrounding yourself with people that are going to continue to build this thing up. And I mean, that's the whole purpose of this podcast in some aspects. It's not for just me and Wisconsin Bishop to argue because we do that enough online or offline
Ad
as
hoc.
it is. Yeah. But it's really to provide this like, oh wow, like this is an inspiration. Like I look at it like if someone's listening to this show, they're like, wow, like all I have to do is buy like a Sprinter van and then get like three stainless steel tables and a refrigerator and I'm set and maybe like an autoclave and some other things. But
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, you
You
could
may
just
There's
want to
use.
no
sterilize
maybe
your
in an
equipment.
autoclave.
Hey, it's a
Please get
startup.
an
It's a
autoclave.
startup. You can put some bleach on it. It's fine.
Oh God.
All
Dan, be quiet, please.
right, I'll
And this
stop.
is why
Yeah,
you're not
do
doing
not listen to him,
surgeries.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good grief.
No,
What?
but realistically,
Yeah.
it is doable. It is feasible, and I have seen
Yeah.
it. You know, I buy these expensive trucks, but I know people that buy RVs and fit them to be clinics. Like, if you want to, you can figure it out.
Yeah. Like instead of like a meth lab, a rolling meth lab, it's like a spay lab.
Why?
Just-
Why, Dan?
You know, Dr. G, I one thing I had suggested to my local technical college was because they've got a vet tech program, is they have mobile dental hygiene
Mm.
buses. And I said, you know, maybe you guys could go together with that bus and have it be a dual thing. You know, just even if you're not doing surgeries, just being able to get out and do some basic exams and blood work and vaccines, you know, for some of the places. I don't think it went anywhere, but, you know, that was just an idea that I had had is, you know, work with other medical entities that, you know, can dual purpose so that you're not spending all the money out of one when you can do multiple.
Yeah, and that's what the One Health approach is based
That's
on,
exactly
right? Like there are
what I was gonna say.
places that do One Health, and a lot of it starts with social work.
Mhm.
So bringing social workers, and we actually are working on hiring a social worker to take to places to work on the resource part of it. So you bring the social worker and you ask the people, you know, what do you need? Like, okay, they're taking care of your pet because the pet is the anchor, right? The pet is what brings people in. People are not going to go to a clinic to talk about their mental health problems or whatever else, but they're going to go and take their dog or cat to get vaccinated or
Mhm.
treated. And then the social worker comes in. What do you need? Do you need anything? What are your issues? What are your problems? What do we have to benefit from your community? You know, what are the resources in your community? Learn about all that stuff and then, yeah, work with medical professionals, whether it be mental health professionals or physicians or nurse practitioners, to help people with the issues that they have. Because the animals don't take care of themselves, the people take care of them. They need the animals for their own emotional support. It's, you know, they need each other. So we need to take care of the human you know, to take care of the animal. I know that there are people that say about taking care of both ends of the leash, and that is
Mhm.
super important, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
One Health is something that that I'm hoping that it grows in Tennessee. You know, we're seeing a lot of research and improvement from that. So
I hope so too. One Health is amazing, and I hope it really starts to gear towards community because I think that's where it starts. You know,
100%. We talk about that a lot. Dr. G, is there anything we left out? I just want our our listeners to know that they can go to your website, rascalunit.com, and check it out. Go intern if you're in the animal welfare industry and you want to get some more hands-on stuff with that. But is there anything that we left out that you'd like our listeners to know?
No, I mean, we covered a lot, and there's so much more, but you can't put everything, you can't put 19 years of everything that I have learned into an hour. But but we covered a lot of stuff, and it's just, again, don't let your own mental barriers hold you back. If you have a mission and you believe in it, just figure it out and get it done. And find support, treat people kindly, and um, don't be judgmental, at least outwardly judgmental. We're all judgmental. I'm super judgmental. But don't go out and make people feel that they're a piece of crap because they can't take care of their pet.
Mhm.
Understand where they're coming from and, help them that way. And take care of your staff because that's the most important. I can do 60 surgeries in a day. I can't do that without my techs. So super shout out to my techs. Three of them, well, one has been with me for 18 years, the other two over 10 years.
All right, wait. I'm gonna guess.
Um,
Don't tell me. I'm gonna look at your website right now. I'm gonna pick the one. There's no. What's the word? Um, there's no dates like when they started. But you said 18 years, and I'm not doing
yeah,
this based on what they look like age wise. I'm just doing this look based on their smile.
I
Um,
will tell you that the Rascal Unit is a time freeze, so we don't age,
I believe that.
right?
Elise,
Like I'm 50
is
years old.
it Elise?
My No, Elise
Ah,
has been with us the shortest amount of time. She's only been with us for about 3 years.
dang, bro.
Yeah, find me the 40 years old people on that
Oh,
age.
all right. Well, that's hard to do because none of your T people look 40 years old. But
I know, I'm telling you. It's a time we
is
don't
it
age.
shit?
We're vampires.
Is it Kristen?
We're day vampires. No, Kristen is an assistant.
Laura.
Laura, it has been with me for 18 years.
What up,
Yeah.
Laura? Shout out.
Yeah.
She does
Yeah,
not look
Laura
40.
Sullivan, which actually here's funny trivia. When I on the podcast, my on the Animal Welfare Junction, when I say our music is written and produced by Mike Sullivan,
That's
Mike
her husband?
Sullivan is Laura Sullivan's husband.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Nice.
Shout out
Yes.
Mike Sullivan and Laura
Shout
Sullivan.
out to Mike Sullivan.
That's awesome. Well, our music was produced by a free bed from CapCut, so appreciate y'all over there at CapCut doing your thing. And
Well, and shout out to Jamie and Kai. We won't leave them
shout out to your
unmentioned
whole team.
because
Your
they're
team
No,
looks.
fantastic.
whole unit.
Maddie,
I
that
want to.
drives and is our
I
assistant.
want to meet
Robert,
Robert.
our
Yeah,
driver.
he looks like he got
Yeah.
some stories.
Oh yeah, he does have some stories. He's had like 100 different jobs, lived in 200 different places. Yeah, he's like 180 years old. He's been around, man.
Love that.
Best
He's
kind of
been
people to be
around.
around.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
check out the Rascal Unit. Check out the Animal Welfare Junction. Check out keepithumane.com and check out continuing to help.
People.
Help animals.